Some thoughts on the Sony 100 to 400 millimeter lens. Now, one thing I will say about the 1 to 400 here at the zoo, and I just started my day, but the outfit with the A7iv with the battery grip, it felt heavy when I put it together, and when I pick it up in my hand to kind of put it on my shoulder, it seems like it's heavy. So interestingly enough, when I hold it in my hand in a position ready to shoot, it didn't feel all that heavy to me. I'm gonna go out now and do some more photography. It is really humid. I'm sitting here and just drenched in sweat. Look forward to doing some more recording, and hopefully I can get some good photographs here today to give some more thoughts and opinions on the Sony A7iv and the Sony 100 to 400 millimeter lens. That's all I brought as far as mirrorless full frame outfit to shoot here today. I have already taken a couple of photos that I think may actually be pretty good. I was actually about to walk away from the orangutan exhibit. One of them decided to climb up a pole that they've put in the exhibit, and this pole has long cables running across the top for them to play around with, and much to my surprise, I was fortunate enough that he did get up to the cord or the wire that runs across the top, and he decided he was going to put on a circus show. I've never seen that before. But I think I may have gotten a really sweet photo of the orangutan. It's not going to look like it's out of nature because it's running or it's walking on a cable. I think it's going to make a heck of a photograph. So, you know, the only man-made object is obviously what he's walking on, but it's something you don't see every day. It may be good enough to actually show off and be proud of that photo. Just before the orangutan, as I came into the zoo, the gibbons were putting on quite a musical show and swinging back and forth around quite a bit as they were doing it. The lighting there rough. It's a black animal with dark eyes. I had to bump up the ISO pretty high. The aperture on the lens is basically between 5 and 5.6 depending on the zoom range that I have. Obviously, if I zoom out all the way, it's at 5.6. And that's part of the reason that I need to raise the ISO as high as I did. The camera, I was picking the zone, the focus zone, and the camera was doing a pretty decent job of finding the eye at times and focusing on the eye. Again, a very dark animal in a dark environment, and I thought it was picking the eye pretty good. I don't know yet how well the autofocus performed, because that's something yet to be seen. Again, another reason for the high ISO is I also wanted a fast shutter speed, because really what I was hoping for is that the animal would swing around, and that would give me an opportunity to test the autofocus. Again, I set it to where I'm picking a zone, so I have a box, and within that box I set it to animal autofocus, and I'm hoping that the camera is actually performing well doing this. Through the viewfinder, it looks like it's doing well. I'm not sold yet, or haven't done enough photography yet with this camera and high ISO to see how it performs. I had the opportunity to photograph some birds. Unfortunately, nothing flying. And where I've been taking the photos of the birds, the light is very dim, so I've been shooting at very high ISO and trying to keep the shutter speed up, because even if they're not flying, you still need a pretty fast shutter speed with bird photography, because their heads are just constantly moving and their bodies constantly moving. But through the viewfinder, it looks pretty impressive. A lot of the bird photos I've been taking, the head will start out where there's some light, but it turns away from the light and into a more shadow type area, or where the photo actually becomes darker in the viewfinder. And man, that eye autofocus tracking, the box is certainly tracking the eye. Whether the picture's in focus or not, it remains to be seen. But I'm impressed with the, at least the way the eye autofocus looks in the viewfinder. It seems like it's tracking quite well. It's the perfect camera lens combination for nature photography as far as birds and animals. Yeah, bigger is always better, but 1 to 400, a little easier to carry around with you than the 2 to 600 because of the size. It is a bit lighter. I kind of enjoy this one camera, one lens setup. It's a lot easier on the body. So we'll see how the pictures turn out. Okay, so now it's time to wrap up the video. I'm extremely impressed with the Sony A7iv and the 100 to 400 millimeter combination. The lens, I think, is extremely sharp. The autofocus performed very well. The high ISO for the Sony A7 IV, to me the verdict is still kind of out on it. I've recently purchased Topaz denoise, and the software is extremely impressive. I didn't have a lot of opportunities to photograph animals running or moving quickly and to see how the autofocus performed that way, but I think I did fine with what I had at the zoo for this day. Anyways, I hope you find this video useful, and please like and subscribe, and please provide comments. I'm very new to the Sony system, and would love to hear any feedback that you guys have. Appreciate it, and thank you.